Welcome to Hypnosis Health Info. I'm Roger Moore. A few days ago on Facebook, I saw a posting from the gym that I belong to, Island Fitness on Bainbridge Island, and it really struck me as something very powerful and very meaningful. And I'm not sure where the photo and description originated from, but what it said is, just run. It's very hard to understand in the beginning that the whole idea is not to beat the other runners. Eventually, you learn that the competition is against the little voice inside you that wants to quit. And I recently posted something along this similar line. I was on July 29th in a post called "Look at the Little Picture," which was a quote from my book Becoming Slender for Life, where I write about this similar experience of when I was climbing Mount Rainier, and how I was all excited about and jazzed about this hike, and with the group that I was with, and that morning we get up at 1 a.m. and we leave by 2 a.m. and this is from base camp, and because we'd hiked the day before to get to there, and so we're going up in the dark, full moon, and after sunrise I look up at what I thought was the summit, and I was getting pretty tired and was struggling and still had a pretty heavy pack on my back, although a lot of stuff was still at base camp. But I was going along and looking up there at the summit and going, I don't know if I can make it. Now, the good news is I didn't realize that wasn't the summit, because the summit was even higher and further away, but the peak that I was looking at was not the summit, but that looked just unimaginable at that point. And I started having thoughts about, okay, this isn't fun anymore. I don't want to do this. Why don't they just, I'm going to have them just put me in a bag and stake me to the hill or the mountain here and pick me up on the way down. And as I was struggling along, and but there was ego and pride involved, and here was my group of friends from the gym, and I'd be the one that would quit, and I didn't want to be the one that would quit. And as I was going along, and I was thinking about what I was thinking, what I was feeling, and I realized, wait a minute, this is the place, mentally and emotionally, where I always quit. Whether it's in some physical activity like climbing a mountain, whether it was in a relationship, whether it was in business, whether it was in financial issues or wherever, but I reached this place of where it would get hard and I would quit. There was that small voice in my head that would say, okay, that's it, quit, get out of here. And I reflected back on when I was in college, in graduate school, working on my master's in marriage family therapy, and we did a thing there in Santa Monica where we had to throw a ring. It was, I don't know, a good mile, maybe 2 miles, from the school down to the ocean there in Santa Monica, and down by the Santa Monica Pier. And we divided up in teams, and the goal was to reach Santa Monica Pier and to throw your ring all the way there. And there was this moment of awkwardness, and everybody's trying to figure out, well, how in the world are we going to throw this thing, a mile or more to Santa Monica Pier? And finally we got it. It was 3-foot tosses. We'd take the ring and we'd throw it 3 feet, and we'd walk and pick it up and throw it 3 feet and walk some more. And after a while of working together as a team and walking along and enjoying the beautiful day, and pretty soon we were at Santa Monica Pier with our rings. And that's how I climbed Mount Rainier, was just one step at a time. That's all I had to do, was take one step, the rest step, and then another step, and rest, and the next step and rest, and got up to the top of that little peak there and realized that wasn't the summit. There was a whole lot more to go and several more hours to go, and you know what? I got to the summit of Mount Rainier. It was a beautiful, glorious, sunny day. It was actually warm up there comparatively. I was able to peel off our jackets and lay in short sleeve t-shirts there in the summit, and actually took a brief nap while I was up there. And it was just this absolutely glorious, awesome experience because I didn't quit. And of course, the other great news from having not quit, having expanded my box, expanded my boundaries, was that expansion showed up in everywhere else in my life. I was more open and more vulnerable with my wife and with family and with friends. I was willing to go further and do other things in other areas of my life that always before I'd been limited by the limits, the invisible barriers that I created in my mind. But here's the deal, folks. How I was able to do that was using that one step at a time, the 3-foot tosses. And I also, even as I was walking along, I used self-hypnosis, and I gave myself the suggestions of, I got this, I can do this. And I kept picturing in my mind being at the summit, and I reached the summit. And that's the beauty of self-hypnosis, is you can expand your boundaries, you can overcome that voice in your head that says, stop, don't do this, don't go any further. And you can expand those boundaries and make great changes in your life. And I see this all the time in the work that I do with weight loss clients, with pain management clients, with clients that are dealing with autoimmune diseases and cancer and other illnesses and quitting smoking, is that they use this tool of self-hypnosis. They literally change their neurology, and they're able to overcome that voice in their head and change that voice from quit to take another step, move forward. So I invite you to take a look at all the tools and resources here at Hypnosis Health Info. Be sure to look up there in the orange menu bar under self-hypnosis and read about what self-hypnosis is and isn't. First drop-down tab is the light switch self-hypnosis technique where I teach you how to take yourself deeply relaxed, bring yourself back up in a minute. The next one is written suggestions, how to give yourself suggestions. Third one third drop-down tab is power minutes, which are 1 to 4 minute MP3 downloads that you can use during your quick hypnosis sessions. And the last one is hypnotic suggestions. There's, 15, 1600 suggestions there from my daily blog posts that you're welcome to use word for word to get ideas on how to use your own suggestions. But put self-hypnosis to work for you. Be mindful, be conscious. Learn how to recognize that voice in your head that's telling you to quit. How to change that and overcome that and take the next step forward and reach your summit. I'm Roger Moore, and this is Hypnosis Health Info.